Okay. So we're back. Again, did you miss us?
How you doing?
So, do I have any chocolate in my tea?
No, do I? Okay, we're good then.
Anyway, so we're back and we're going to talk about water quality. This is hugely important, but massively overlooked by pretty much everybody. So the quality of the water that you put in your body is so critical. Your body is over 70% water, so what you put in it as far as the quality of water, where you're getting the water from, what's in the water is, can make or break you. So there are things that are obviously added to water. If you've been on, or if you're on town water, obviously you have chlorine in the water. It's most likely has fluoride in it. It could have bromide. There's a whole list of chemicals that they put into the water to make it safe, but actually it's toxic and you should absolutely not be consuming that because it will make you sick. So where did fluoridation come from? I mean, everyone tells us that fluoride is good. Oh, to get fluoride in your toothpaste, you have to do fluoride rinses when you're a kid, and now we're learning that it's toxic, and that was a bunch of bull.
Supposed to stop cavities. Well, how about not eating sugar? That'll stop cavities too.
Right, there we go.
But it started with...
No.
Edit. Edit out. That's the great thing about editing.
Right?
Well, it actually started with the Manhattan Project and the atomic bomb. If you go back, especially if you read some of the books, that the information that came from the declassified documents from the Manhattan Project, you see that the primary motivation from the very beginning was liability protection. Massive amounts of fluoride were manufactured and used for the bomb-making process, which created huge liability once they realized that just how toxic it was. Most people don't realize the magical element used to make the bomb was uranium hexafluoride. It was actually this special aspect that allowed them to separate the uranium isotopes to make the bomb. The fluoride from this bomb-making process was initially released into the environment, as was fluoride waste products from the aluminum industry, where it ended up killing herds of cattle and wiping out entire orchards. Both the aluminum industry and the Manhattan Project realized they had a major toxic waste problem, and this would cost a lot of money to dispose of properly.
So part of the protection for the liability was to basically put it everywhere and tell everybody that it was great. But just how do you do that? Very shrewdly. Water fluoridation could easily qualify as one of the grandest public health frauds and toxic cover-ups in the U.S. history. The deceit has been so effective, you're hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't automatically say, but everyone knows that fluoride is good for you.
Oh yeah, It's wonderful. My dentist does too.
So why did fluoride have to be declared safe? Now declassified files of the Manhattan Project and the Atomic Energy Commission shows that the toxicology department at the University of Rochester, which was under the direction of Harold Hodge, was asked to produce medical information about fluoride that could help defend the environment against lawsuits where they were charged with fluoride pollution.
It is now clear that if water fluoridation were declared harmful, what the heck was that? It is now clear that if water fluoridation were declared harmful to human health, the U.S. nuclear bomb program, as well as many other fluoride polluting industries such as aluminum plants, fertilizer manufacturers, would have been left open to massive litigation. The plan? Declare fluoride not only safe but beneficial and sell the troublesome waste to municipalities across the U.S. What an idea is that? How the idea for water fluoridation came about, the brainchild of water fluoridation was Gerald Cox, the researcher with the Mellon Institute in Pittsburgh. He received the suggestion to look at fluoride's dental effects from Francis Frary, then director of the aluminum laboratory for the Aluminum Company of America. We know it as Alcoa. Frary had reasons for this suggestion other than the possibility of protecting tooth enamel. However, he was very concerned about the fluoride pollution being generated by the aluminum plant as lawsuits from surrounding farmers increased.
Another major player in the creation of this scheme was Harold Hodge, the chief toxicologist of the Manhattan Project, as part of the group of scientists and engineers who helped develop the atomic bomb in World War II. Hodge was responsible for evaluating the toxicity of the chemicals used in the production of the bomb. One of the chemicals, as mentioned, was fluoride. Due to the massive amounts of fluoride required to produce bomb-grade uranium and plutonium for these nuclear weapons, the Manhattan Project also needed some way to avoid potentially crippling lawsuits. Last but not least, there was Robert Kehoe with the Kettering Laboratory, a private toxicology lab that ended up producing a massive bibliography of abstracts on the soundness of communal water, fluoridation, and fluoride's beneficial role in public health. However, this research was not particularly independent or unbiased. Not only was Robert Kehoe working with the Fluoride Lawyers Committee, preparing defenses in fluoride litigation cases, the Kettering Report on the health benefits of fluoride was also funded by the National Institute of Dental Research and fluoride polluting industry. Heavyweights like the Aluminum Company of America, Alcoa, DuPont, Reynolds Metals, the Aluminum Company of Canada, Kaiser Aluminum, U.S. Steel.
Well, there you have it.
Now you know the truth. It's all a scam.
Yep.
So,
Don't drink fluoride.
don't drink town water. Don't drink treated water. Any water that's been publicly treated.
60% of all public water is treated with this, so.
Right. And they'll tell you it has safe levels, but there are no safe levels of chemicals. I'm sorry. That's like saying you have a safe level of gasoline in your water. Same thing.
Right.
So where do we get safe water? We all know that bottled water isn't the greatest, but if you have a choice between bottled water and town water, buy the bottled water. Just make sure your bottles of water don't sit in the sun.
And also make sure that your bottled water doesn't have fluoride also. Some do.
Right. Yes, you can check on the front of your bottle where did the water come from. And you can even go onto that company's website and they have to list everything that was found in their water.
Some of those natural spring waters that you get are not from springs at all, but just from the reservoir that you would drink from anyway. So.
Right, they're from municipal sanctions, so you're not doing yourself any good. However, you can get water filters, purifying systems that you can get for your countertop, which are an amazing, great investment. We have a couple of them at home. The other thing that you want to know about water, so not only do you want to know what's in the water, making sure that's just water, but you also want to know the pH level of the water. So let's talk about water. Where do you get good water? If you live on a municipal system where you have town water, you want to either buy a water filtration system for your countertop, or you want to, if you can't afford that right now, because you're, spending money on good food, which is great, then you want to buy a high quality bottled water in clear plastic, if you can find clear plastic, because the plastic will bleed into the water. So if you do have to do bottled water, just don't do it for too long, because you are getting some of the chemicals that are in the plastic. But each water company or each source of water has a certain pH level, and we briefly talked about pH level in the body. 7 is neutral, and 7 is where you want to stay. From 0 to 7 is more of an acidic state, and from 7 up to 11 or 12 is a more alkaline state. Once you get on the higher end of the alkaline state, you're going to run into problems too, because you're still out of balance. So pathogens, bacteria, parasites, tumors, they can't live in an alkaline environment. So that's why you want to make sure that you're putting alkaline liquids into your body. And because we are 70% water, 70% plus water, you want to make sure that the water that you're drinking is in fact alkaline. You can test it. They make little alkaline strips. You can get them at the drugstore and test.
And most people are acidic anyway, so a little alkaline doesn't hurt.
Right, right. So things to look for, definitely check your water, research your water, where it came from, what's in it, so you know, because you don't want to end up saying, well, no one told me that, I didn't know.
Well, we just told you.
So do your research.
Yeah.
But we're going to show you how to, talking about how important alkalizing your system is and how healing it is to your body, we're going to show you how to make an alkalizing juice drink. Smoothie, which will be absolutely delicious and full of antioxidants also. So follow us out to the kitchen.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna make an alkalizing green drink. So we've got some of the most alkalizing ingredients here. So first we're gonna do, we pre-brewed some green tea, so we have that here. We're going to use, we've peeled a lemon, so we're going to put that in here. It's an organic lemon. We're going to use some, let me chop this up a little bit. Some organic celery. It doesn't matter how much you use, just eyeball it. Don't worry too much about it. Organic celery is loaded with natural potassium and natural sodium, which are wonderful alkalizing minerals. So we're going to put some avocado in there. We're going to use some spirulina chlorella tablets. This is optional, but it gives you an extra dose of natural protein. Spirulina chlorella have major detoxification properties. So I'm using probably 15 tablets. It's very, very alkalizing. We're gonna use about a tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar. I recommend Bragg's. They're just awesome. Apple cider vinegar is wonderful for so many things, but especially for alkalizing your system. And we're going to use about a tablespoon of organic turmeric because it has major antioxidant values and it's fantastic for relieving inflammation. So don't mind the noise. Good. Okay. So this is our alkalizing, antioxidant, green, delicious smoothie. And I'm making a mess with it, but can't worry about messes too much.
Looks good.
It looks delicious. Here we go.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
See you next time.
I love turmeric. I've been putting it in my, oh, I should have mentioned.
Wait, you got...
On my nose. I always do that.
You got the smoothie nose.
Yep. I should have mentioned that in order to absorb turmeric, your body, you have to have fat with it. Or you won't absorb it. We had avocado.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to know.
I know. I love avocado.
I know.
Or as my nephew says, cavocado. It's my cavocado. He loves them too.
Excelente.
It is. I love celery.
Yeah.
I've been doing celery garlic juice. It smells horrible on my breath, but we're gonna pause that part there. You have a glass? A glass? Ah! A glass? Can I dump that into? Didn't make too much of a mess this time.
No.
Getting better.
It's not all over the walls and the ceiling.
I've been doing celery garlic juice. It smells horrible on my breath, but it's so good. I started to come down with this cold from babysitting my nephew, and I'm like, no, I can't get this. So I started doing the garlic juice. Whew. I'm like, hi, honey.
Glad you
He's
didn't do
like,
that this morning.
oh, wow. His eyes go crossed.
Go ahead. Your turn.
It's up a little high.
Okay. Ba 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 ba. Go ahead, you can do this.